Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. We are going to treat styling in HTML today. Note that developers use CSS for their styling. If you want your website to look very modern and rich, then CSS is the best option for your styling. But then I'm going to teach you how you can add a little styling to your HTML document. Styling in HTML directly is really limited. That's why developers use CSS in styling their website. Enough talking, let's get right into it. First of all, we are going to start with background color, then text color, then font size, then we go to text size, then we finish it with text alignment. But first of all, what is styling in HTML? What is styling in HTML? Styling is an attribute used to add styles to an element, such as color, size, font, and more. The HTML style attribute has the following syntax. So guys, let's practice these style attributes in our HTML directly and see what we can do to HTML documents when it comes to styling. We're going to treat styling more of it. We're going to treat more of it in CSS. But if you want to maneuver your way out in styling HTML document directly, then this is how you should go by it. But it's really limited. You can do just a few things with styling directly in HTML. We are going to do a huge amount of styling types in CSS. That CSS actually makes our website modern and rich. So we will get there and you see the reason why developers use CSS to style their web pages. But for now, we are learning how to do one or two styling in HTML document directly. So let's start with background color. What does background color mean? This is a CSS property that allows you to add a background color to an HTML element. If you want to add a background color, maybe note that the default background color is white. Any browser will give you or will read your code in a white background. That's the default background color for HTML document. But in case you want to change this font, or if you want to change this background color, then you can use styling attributes to actually change this background color to what you really want. So we are going to do this, and if you are stuck or if you don't understand what we're doing right now, we are just trying to do a little bit of styling in HTML directly. There are so many ways of editing HTML documents. That's we use CSS, and you can use styling in HTML document itself directly. But then that one has its limits. It has a really small limit, like it has a limit. But then in CSS, you just have the freedom to do anything with your HTML document. But in styling HTML directly in its document, you cannot do much of it with styling attributes. So let's do one or two things, or the limits, or what we can actually do with styling when it comes to HTML document. So let's do some of it, and you actually understand when we start coding. So we are going to change the background color of our HTML document. So here we go. So first of all, as always, you're going to call your HTML document structure. Yes, this is our structure for HTML document, and we are going to change the background color. So let's say I have a heading here, H1. This is heading. Sorry. This is a heading. Then I'll have a paragraph. Say, okay, this is a paragraph. H here. Let's save it and run it in our browser. When we refresh, this is what we get. This is a heading and this is a paragraph. This is what we get for our HTML document. But then we want to actually change the whole background for the color for our HTML. So this is how you're going to do it. You see, as I told you, that the body contains every content in your HTML document. So if you really want to change the whole font or the whole background color, you should add the style attribute in this body tag. This is where you're going to add the style attribute. So let's add it. So you type our style attribute. Immediately I tried to type, it gave me suggestion. So I'll just click on this suggestion because that's what I really want to do. So and as you can see, I have a background color here. I'll choose that one and say, okay, fine, I want to change the background color to crimson. So let's change it to crimson, refresh, and as you can see, the whole background for our HTML document or content is changed from the default background color, which was white, to crimson, our color we chose. So this is actually how to change the whole body or the whole background color from the default color, which is white, to the color you really want to change it to. So this is how you go by it. And there you can also set different colors or different background color for different elements. So let's say, okay, I want this heading 1, I want its background color different from the whole background. So how can you do this? As we did here, you're just going to do the same here. So we are actually going to change the background color for H1. So you come to the H1 opening tag, and that's where we are going to add the style attribute. So let's try and change the background color for H1. So style, background color, and let's say we are going to change it to blue. Blue. Refresh, and as you can see, the background color for the heading 1 changed from crimson to blue because we didn't want our H1 heading to actually take the crimson color. We wanted our heading 1 to take blue color, so we just added the style attribute and added the color we really wanted, and it's changed to that color. So that's how we actually change the background color of an element. So let's say, okay, fine, we also want to change this paragraph element to the background color. We want to change it to another color. So the same procedure, you're going to add the style to this P or this paragraph element. So let's type our style here. So you can see style, background color, and say, okay, fine, we are going to give this one sign. So refresh, and as you can see, the color changed to sign. So that's how we change the background for the whole content, and that's how we can change the background color of any element. So you can choose the colors you want your elements to go with. You can do it with this style attribute. So this is how we change the background color of the whole body, and then change the background color of the elements as well. So guys, the next on our list is text color. What is text color? This is a CSS property that defines the color of a text for HTML document. It actually changed the default color of the text, which is in black, to what you really want it to be. You can change it to any color. The default color for text in HTML is black, but then you can use this text color attribute or this text color value and property to actually change it from the default color to the color you really want. So let's practice this and see how we can add or we can change the text color of our HTML text. So as usual, call your HTML document structure and start coding with it. So let's practice something here. So let's say I have as always, I always like using H1 because it helps me. Yeah, it's easy, that one. So as usual, this is oh this is a heading, and we have paragraph. Say this is a paragraph. Yeah, this is a paragraph. Let's save this and run it. Let's run it in our editor, our browser. Immediately we run it, we're going to get this default text color. But let's say we want to change the default color. We want to change it from the default color. We want our heading 1. This is a heading to be in a different text color. So how do we do with this? We are just going to go to what the element we really want to change its color. That is the H1. This is the element we really want to change its color. So you come to its opening tag, then you're going to add your style attribute. So let's type the style, and here you're going to choose color. If you really want to change the default color, that's the black, to any color you really want, then you're going to use color instead of background color or a background. Here you're going to use color. You use color to change text colors. So this is the property you're going to use. So let's do this and see how let's see what we get. So here we are going to, as usual, we are going to change it to crimson, my favorite color. So immediately we change it. You're going to get H1 in a different text color, which is crimson. We've really changed it from black to crimson. So this is how you're going to change the text color of any HTML element. No matter how big or how long the text is, you can change it by using this style attribute. It is really, really sensitive, and it will change it from its default color to the color you've assigned it to. So this is how you can change the text color of your HTML document. So let's also change the color from black to any color we want. You're going to change the text color of this paragraph to any color we want. So you come to the opening tag of the element you want to change. So this is where you're going to add your style attribute. So style, then you're going to choose color. So we are going to choose blue, dark blue, and dark blue, I think you can see it was. So let's use something that is much, let's say change it to red. Okay, red 2 is, let's change it to blue. Yeah, blue. Okay, so fine. So as you can see, my text, my paragraph here, this is a paragraph here, changed from black to blue. So if we're able to change our text from its default color to the colors we want. So this is how you can change the text color of an HTML using the style attributes. Now we are now going to change the font family or the font type of our HTML element. So we are going to treat style. We are going to treat fonts now. So what are fonts? These are CSS font family that defines the type of fonts to be used in an HTML. So when we start styling with CSS, we are going to learn how to install fonts from Google. So let's try and change the font type of our HTML document. So let's practice this and see how we can change it from our default font type to the font we really want. So as usual, you're going to call your HTML document structure and another H1 here. Sorry, H1 here, and this is a heading. Then another paragraph here. Sorry. P, paragraph. This is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. So let's save this, run it, and see what we get in our browser. Let's refresh as usual. So we want to change the font. Just the font of these HTML elements. We want to change the font from its default to what we really want to. What we really want. So let's change the font. Yeah, let's change the font. The font, and so we want to change the font for H1. So we will come to its element H1, find it first, opening tag, then add our styling attributes. So style. Then here we're going to use font family. So it's the third one. So there's a bunch of fonts you can find, but it's limited. And as I said, when we get to CSS, we're going to learn how to install fonts from Google and use them in our HTML and our websites. So for now, let's take one of these fonts and see if it really works. So let's save it, and as you can see, it changed from the default to this font. I don't know if it's made any difference for you. So let's do this. Let's use Vadama. Yeah, Vadama. Sorry. Let's use Vadama and see. Okay, so I think this makes a difference to your eye. Yeah. So we've changed the font from its default font to this font. So this is how you can change the font of your HTML content. So let's change this one to, we will come to its opening tag and then add our style attributes, our property, then our value. So our property is going to be font family, and the value we really want, that's the font we want to change into. So let's use this font. Yeah, let's use this one. Refresh, and it's made difference, right? Yeah. So it's changed from its original or default font type to this or new font. So this is how you can add fonts to your HTML document. Now we've learned how to change the font. Let's learn how to change the text size. So what is this? What is this font size at all? This is a CSS property that defines the font size for an HTML element. So if you really want to change the how huge or how small, or if you want to make your HTML elements or content small or bigger, or this is where the font size, the text size comes in. So it's actually just add or reduces the size of your HTML element or HTML font or HTML content. So let's try and do a little bit of coding with this. As usual, we'll call our HTML document structure and do a little bit with it. And H1. This is a heading, and P paragraph. This is, of course, a paragraph. Okay, so let's run this and see. This is the default text size for any HTML. So this is small for us. We want it to become bigger or smaller. So this is where you're going to use this property, which is text size. So let's add. We want to change the text size of H1. It's small for us, so we want to make it a little big. So let's add the style to our H1 elements here. So we will come to its opening tag, then add the style attribute, and here we are going to use the font size. So font size. So here we are going to use, let's say, 300% here. Let's save this and see. It's kind of big now. Let's make it huge so you see the difference. Save it and you see it's huge now, it's bigger now. So this is how you can change the font size. This is the attributes and this is the property you're going to use, and then the value depends on how big or how small you want to change the font size. So let's also add a little bit of let's make our paragraph bigger as the H1. So as usual, star, then your property, font size, then your value. So let's make this one kind of small. Small, and see. What am I testing? Okay, so let's save this. I think 160. I thought 160 would be much smaller, but it's bigger than the default. So this is how you can change them. You see, it's kind of very small now. So this is how you can change. You can make variations. You can add changes when it comes to its size. This is the property you are going to use to change the text size. So we've learned how to change the background, then the background of individual elements, the fonts. We're going to do the text alignment. That will be the end for the video. So I hope you are getting along. So let's move on and end it with text alignment. What is text alignment? This is a CSS property that defines the horizontal text for an HTML element. Alignment, as usual, maybe you have your text at the right or at the left side. You want to change it or shift it to the right side, and this is where you're going to use alignments, the property alignments. So let's practice with it and see how we can change elements at a specific or the default position to our preferred position. So let's clean. I don't need this right now. So let's save this, and we have nothing. So let's do a little bit with alignment. So let's H. This is a heading, and P. This is a paragraph. Yep. Okay. So let's refresh, and we have our default positioning and styling and everything. We have our default HTML in our browser. So let's try and shift our heading from the left to the right hand side. So this is where we are going to use test align. So we want to change the alignment of H1. So test attribute, then the value we are going to use is the property we are going to use is test align. Test align, and we are going to say we want to shift it, or we want to make sure it's in the center of our browser. So center, refresh, and you can see it's moved from here and it's in the center now. You can see the space here and the space here are the same, so it's in the middle of our page. So it was here, but then it's right now it's here. So we've changed the alignment of our text from the left side to the middle of our page. So let's change this one to P. So style, then test align. Okay, so we are going to change this one to the right, just the immediate right. So let's refresh this, and this is what we get. So we've actually changed paragraph from the default position, which was in the left side, to the immediate right. So this is all about test alignment, and we're going to do more about these things when we get into CSS. This is all we can do, or this is all the styling we can do in HTML straightforward, but you can do a lot more better with CSS. So I think this is the end, and see you soon.